Hello there and welcome back to Corey Loses, where today we are once again continuing our Fall of the Republic preview playthrough as the Confederacy of Independent Systems. This is being recorded live on Twitch on Canada Day, so there should be about 3, maybe 4 episodes that I record today, but we are going to finish the playthrough is the plan, unless there's significant technical difficulties that prevent me from being able to do so. We have most of the galaxy secured here, just a few planets in the core is what we have to go for. We are going to start by just sending Porus Tonus fleet down to Barlock to deal with some of these guys. We're also going to get our forces going towards Kashyyyk. I guess Cola 4 is going to be the first thing. Since they were sending some stuff through, we're intercepting some of those. They have some stuff behind our lines. They did have an assault on Carta last episode, which had some bad results for us, but let's see if we can get Kashyyyk with these guys. Is this... yeah, that's mostly clone troopers. A lot of mostly clone troopers in the galaxy right now. And this was done before a lot of the AI combat power for infantry was set, so we should start seeing the AI usage of different categories even out a bit more. And the same kind of applies to things like the Praetors. That's something that comes up in the comments a lot as well. Let's get you guys in there. And we've got another Clone Wars mod. Confederate Fury. And regular Invictus, never mind. Just gotta get stuff in a position where we can kill a lot of these transports. Yeah, so I did a poll on the community page for the channel a little while ago asking how people felt about doing the live stream versions or live stream recordings, and as long as there's not like any super intrusive notifications, people seem to prefer it generally. So I'm gonna keep trying some of that. The idea is to keep it as close to the regular recordings as possible, but it also helps if there's any common questions that come up or anything that comes up in the chat, then it helps know what I should be talking about at any given time. Get some extra feedback that way. Keep me company while I'm recording. Alright, time for Kashyyyk. The droid attack on the Wookiees. Alright. Get Homer's Revenge. Plays with Sprinkles. And regular Lucreholic over here. We got room for a Providence as well. Uzanti. Some Recusants in the back. This one is Spartan's Pride. The Republic unit selection is also up right now. There will be a video this week going over what that's going to be as well, but the Republic playthrough is going to be starting next Friday is the plan currently. I'm going to try to get as much extra stuff cleaned up as possible before then, but we should be on track for that. Alright, let's clear out this VSD using those 2 Recusants. We can't really focus on the transports just yet. Let's get our hyenas for fighter bay there. And you may as well keep focusing on the... yeah, on the Invincibles. There's actually probably not negligible firepower coming out of all the transports. There's like 50 of them. That's always kind of a concern with the transports. We try to balance them stat-wise how we would anything else, but they're also not accounted for by PopCap, so we don't want it to be exploitable. There's some areas where it just doesn't make sense to give them full stats. Alright, let's get some stuff to just focus purely on the CR20s then. And we're probably going to lose Glaze with Sprinkles with this. Definitely kill the fighter bay. You can handle at gear. One of the few canon names we have for Invincible class, so they only show up in so many places. I guess we'll get those hyenas after transports as well. Okay, you're not doing much there. Can't do any good back there. Munificence kill the Dreadnought. You guys... Oh. Kill that. You will go and take out the station with something. You should just get into the battle. Over here. Definitely gonna lose that first Lucre Hulk. But they're down... about 1 invincible overall. Counting shields. Okay, fighters, get over here. Their fighters need to die. I guess I'll just drop everything over on this side. This was a battle I was less sure of. I was just hoping we'd be able to use this fleet because it's already over here and already out of the way. Alright. Let's just focus on the main ships. They'll probably retreat with the other stuff, but we can deal with that later, once we've dealt with most of their other space units in the galaxy. So many of them. Alright. Oh, there. Okay, you are mostly only armed with lasers still. Your other hardpoints have been destroyed. Let's keep the Providences going after the real targets. Everything else, fighters and transports. There's another one down, and another one down, another one down. Without the VO, though. First Invincible down. Where's that Providence at? I thought I had a Providence. Oh, I do. Is it just inside something? Yeah. Get on over there. Fighters, you're all needed over there. Bombers, you can stay on this side and help with the Lucre Hulk's Invincible fight. Tri-fighters. Looks like we're pulling some of their fighters over here as well. But it's evening out a little bit. Nope, that one. This one, because it's up close. I'm gonna pull you out. You're taking too much damage. Thanks for the cheer, Heat Pat. Appreciate it. This Lucre Hulk is taking a lot of damage. Of course, it is tanking all three of these guys. So if we can focus this down a little bit better. Yeah, let's take the Assault Conchs down. If you want to switch over to the Assault Conchs as well, you can shoot up. Right, shields are coming back on this Munificent. So we can probably turn it around a bit. Keep spraying them with fire there. I'm going to move the other Lucre Hulk in a bit. Is this Homer's Revenge? Yes. And you stay there. You're in enough that... Can you shoot? Yeah, you can get some shots off. If I turn it the other way, that's probably a little bit better. Arc 170s. They're the bigger threat. This Recusant can head back. It's not going to get any good. Or do any good. Take out that other Assault Conch. Just the engines left on this guy. There we go. You still have Assault Conchs. And you still have Assault Conchs. You can switch on over there. Help the Recusant. I thought they'd want to retreat before any of this. So I'm kind of surprised and happy. Surprised to be sure, but a welcome one. Actually, go for that. You go for that as well. Oh no! We lost him. Your shields are coming back. That's good. This Providence can go over here, because otherwise it's just going to be going for the stuff that it can't hit as well. At least until this is dead. Still need to edit that rig. Okay, get these fighters still. Are there? Yes, they're still in Arc 170. Okay. Now with that one, there's very little we're afraid of. Same with this. Ooh, no. More fighters. Let's get the Providence to go after the station. And that Lucre Hulk can head back to this one. All their fighters are down on that side. So we can move on over. Thanks for subbing 42XYZ. Or XYZ, whichever you prefer. Z is correct. Don't get me wrong. And this Invincible is just about done as well. Actually, if we don't kill the station, they might stay around. I will pull that back there. We can just kill all of them. Yeah, a lot of the accuracy changes, we did make it harder to hit like Corvettes and stuff, but on average the difficulty at transports is much lower. That was applied to Imperial Civil War. I haven't done it to Fall of the Republic yet because we're still in testing for the changes in ICW. But in general it seemed to go well. I think the base game, the default values for a lot of the accuracy for anti-transport weaponry was something like 72 degrees. And for most things now we've done 32, 48, or 64 for the really inaccurate stuff. So most things are able to hit them better. Smaller Corvette stuff like Kashyyyk, they tend to be 16 degrees, so much more accurate. Will the giant missile carriers be able to... So the Invincibles are supposed to be able to be stolen. I have to check that we've given it the proper tags, but you should be able to board them in 2.2, yeah. It's the Corporate Sector Authority that has them in Imperial Civil War. Different faction than the CIS, which is the Clone Wars faction that we're playing right now. Alright. Got the death zone of clone troopers in here. As long as we don't kill the station, I think they're going to stick around. Partially because I think they're getting the combat power values for infantry, which are relatively high. I'm less sure about that. Hey, if they want to fight me in space, then I'll let them fight me with their clone troopers. As long as these fighters don't ruin it. Are you also part of the new update for the Awakening of the Rebellion? No, I'm not part of the AOTR team. The only mods I work directly on are the Thrawn's Revenge mods. Then some of our stuff gets used in Phoenix Rising, or some other mods will ask for some stuff. I do give them some feedback occasionally, but I don't work directly on AOTR. I'm going to be starting an AOTR playthrough this week, I think. Depends on how many episodes we're doing this week for Fall of the Republic, how many episodes we're recording here. But that's the plan, at least. Alright. We can probably go and destroy that. That station can die. We've done enough damage to the clone troopers here. I need to fix the smoothing groups on Luke Hog, that's the only thing. If that still shows as like hard edges, which it should not be. But whenever you're importing models to like 3ds Max and Blender, it gets messed up. It's easy enough to fix, I just need to pull them back into the program and all that. Do you have a video for being good at Empire at War? I mean, depends on the mod. It seems like you're talking about Awakening of the Rebellion. I'm gonna get bogged down in trying to play one side of the map and the Blackstone kills me. So with Awakening of the Rebellion, blitzing really is the way to go, because the AI is always going to outproduce you in that mod. Most of your economy has to go towards building up defenses. It's very rare that I'll build a ship in AOTR before I basically got the game won. Then when I'm starting to make more credits later, then you can get some extra ships, but that's what I found to be most effective in AOTR, at least. As for, you draw these battle out to make sure the mechanics of the new mod are working as they're supposed to. No, this is just drawn out because we don't have the changed mechanics for accuracy against transports and other stuff in. This is base game accuracy. And right now the AI has so many ground units that they get into a few space battles. And this is how we're killing them, rather than getting Grievous to destroy them on ground. Which we kind of did last episode on Karita. But there's just, what, 3 left? 4 left? 4? Right. 2. And no, I shouldn't. 1, and then we win. Will it show them on the after battle report? It will. There we go. 37, 44. 56. Do we have any ground units around here? I guess these ones at Chazwa. We'll send them over and hope we don't get intercepted. If we do, it's probably just going to be by other space units. Or other ground units. As soon as that fleet gets there, it's going to block off everything for them, too. We need a ground force in... Oh, that's not split up. I was hoping to use Grievous and everything, or Grievous and Grievous's forces over here, but that's not going to be an option. We do have a good amount in the core. Good thing those moved right when they did. Roxuli. Okay, we're in at Roxuli. We're in a world where Roxuli still fights for the Republic. 1 Admiral, 2 Muns. Coming this summer. They are the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Who's this? This is Invictus. Right. I think we can just overwhelm them with what we have here. In a world where the Republic is underusing Venators, AI combat power adjustments will be made so that Praetors aren't spammed. Republic will build more Venators. Comment section will be appeased. Because don't worry, I have noticed it as well. Alright, Martuk. Time to Martake some names. And Porstana needs to not die. Because he's actually probably my favorite CIS commander. Okay, let's get the Providences going after the Invincible there. You're gonna move back. Okay, you're good. And go with what I originally said you were supposed to do. Let's try to take out some of these Corvettes. The DP-20s. Alright, you're going to go for the rest of that DP-20. Hyenas did a good job on that. And now let's go for this other DP-20. There will be some ships where there will be upgrade objects you can get, or upgrades you can get for them. Like the Recusants Munificence, for example. There will be research you can do that allows you to add hangars, or not really add hangars to them, but add vulture droids kind of hanging off the hull, is what the explanation for it is. Because that's something that the CIS started doing a lot, where by default Recusants and Munificence don't have hangars. There were some versions that could, but the most common way that they'd carry fighters were with the vultures just kind of hanging onto the hull. So that's what makes the most sense economically for them to do. So rather than editing the model and having the upgrade switch that much, it'll just edit the fighter complements. Like little bats. Alright. Golden 1. There's a lot more room for us to be able to do research in Fall of the Republic. than in Imperial Civil War, because with Imperial Civil War we have to take into account balance between all the factions, and with Empire War you can only do story scripting that allows to lock and unlock units at will. With the original 3 factions, so the factions coded as the Empire, Rebels, and Underworld, because they're the only ones that can have story scripting applied to them, which is sad. For everything else, we found ways around it. Like, you can do any kind of media where there's a text that comes up or something, because that's just applied to the human player as opposed to a specific faction. So as long as you set up the triggers properly, there's ways to like filter through that stuff. But with some of the other stuff, or really just with the units locking and unlocking. With any kind of unit spawns or hero spawns, we can do it, but there's not really an effective way around the other way. Kind of like some Corvettes and Nebulon Bs do. So it's not really the same idea as that, where the Nebulon B and some Corvettes would have like little docking arms. The Vulture droids were able to just kind of, because they're entirely droids, they just kind of cling under the skirts of... Let's see if I can... So they'd kind of hang up in there. Because they didn't need to have access for pilots or anything. They just hang within the ship and fly around on them. You can see a bit in Episode 3, where the Vulture droids are crawling around on the ship, and then they jump off and chase the squadron, or chase Anakin and Obi-Wan and their squadron, and the opening to Revenge of the Sith. They basically just do that as their full-time job. Especially when they didn't need a proper droid control ship anymore, which is something the Trade Federation tried to change after all the fun at Naboo. So this weekend, my girlfriend has never seen any Star Wars movies. So this weekend we watched episode 4, 5, 6, and 1. And it's been a long time since I've watched episode 1. And there's just some parts of that movie that make absolutely no sense. Alright. There we go. Space over Oxuli is ours. We're going to be able to send in Sora Bulk with his ground forces. The bulk of his ground forces. I do want to check Geonosis for the rest of the patron units we've been rebuilding. And we've also been kind of building them in core. So there as well. But over the last few battles, we probably reduced their strength. Yeah, not bad. Alright. Into Roxuli. But it's time. The droid attack on the Wookiees. Which I think I've switched the map out. Yeah, this is... No, crap. I don't think this is the actual Fall of the Republic one, is it? This is the really old one. I don't know if Rogue has made some edits to it or something. No, that's just the preview. Okay, we're good. I just showed the preview image. This is the proper map. The beach assault. Need some bigger vehicles to get the proper idea there. Alright, we're gonna crawl on over to there. I told her that Maul survives the falling down the pit, and she thinks that it's because he has to live until Anakin becomes Vader. I didn't tell her about Dooku. Alright. We've made the landing on the beach. Okay, you die. Get on over there. We don't really have our best infantry here. We're not sending our best and brightest. So yeah, the same thing I mentioned earlier with like the Venator and the Praetor. The AI will build infantry, or build a little bit less infantry, a little more larger vehicles, with some adjustments to their structure building, because they seem to be building 2 barracks before building anything else for some reason, which they shouldn't be. So that'll be one thing to address. And another was just the combat power that the infantry held. So how strong the AI thought they were. Which, again, that's already been changed. I didn't tell her the only movie that Maul shows up again in is Rogue One. But... alright. Let's get a little set of droids over there. I don't think that her Star Wars watch through is going to involve watching the Clone Wars or Rebels. Keanu Reeves as Revan. You're gonna... I could see it. I wouldn't hate it. I've thought about doing for my lore channel a video just casting for EU characters. Just for fun. It's a lot easier to do that kind of thing when you have no budget and people can't say no to your fan lists. But... it'd still be a fun video, I think. Alright, we've made our beachhead. Get some OG9s. These guys were... I don't think they show up in the prequel trilogy at all, but they do show up in the Clone Wars movies. And they're also in, like, the original Clone Wars cartoon. I don't think they were in the movies. Okay, you guys need to stop worrying about that wall. You can Discord try to send me to my dashboard. Oh. Did I get that wrong? One sec, sorry. Oh, that's not correct. Thanks, Brady. Oh, right there on my Guido. Good call. During the montage of Jedi death. You guys are a little far ahead. Let's go over there. Ah! Ooh, ATAP needs to die. It's very strong. I think you're right. I think it was, I think there was on Megiddo. Kill it. Kill it before it kills you. Hasn't come up for about 10 episodes. So I will again say that the rapid fire Hailfire droid, or yeah, Hailfire tanks are not a permanent fixture. We're going to be redoing the projectiles for ground fairly soon. Probably before 0.5 of Fall of the Republic. But definitely for 2.4 of Imperial Civil War. And that'll be where we address a lot of the weirdness with some of the ground units like that. But let's drop an orbital bombardment on that. I have a question for this in TR. Is there a reason you chose to have this space torpedoes? Is there a reason you chose to have space torpedoes go through shields in one mod rather than the other? Well, it works the same way in both mods. We don't have projectiles penetrate shields in either of them. You may be thinking of them going through shields in Republic at War, which isn't made by us. Fall of the Republic isn't out yet, this mod. Alright. Our Persuaders are going to go stay on this side and just kill all this other stuff. There's still a lot over there. But the reason we don't have the torpedoes go through shields is because it, for one thing, it's better supported by the lore. There are basically two types of shields where they can go through one type and they can't go through the other. So you could justify that in game by having like saying the hull represents the shield as well. But the difficulty with that is there's also really bad game balance issues with having them be able to go through shields, where in most places, like in the base game and a lot of mods that stick with the base game's way of working them, it ends up having bombers be the only thing that really matters. Where you just basically, you're always going to snipe the shield hardpoint and then go from there, where the AI isn't really able to do that as effectively. So it's an advantage that will always go to the bombers. So you're always trying to spam as many bombers as possible, and then capital support means a lot less. We have a kind of in-between method that we're going to be trying for future releases that does involve penetration, but involves significantly reworking how certain hardpoints work, which we're going to be trying. So that may or may not make it to a release, but it is something we're going to be trying. Nope, Republic of War is a different mod. This is our Cloners mod here, which not yet out. Alright, just some barracks on this side. Some clones on this side. Here? No. No clones, just these guys. Some ATPTs and some Wookies. I guess the droids we can also send down there. Alright, that's gonna die before anything else, so you guys go for the other barracks. ATs over here. You don't shoot at the wall. The wall is your friend. It's really not your friend, it's just a waste of your ammo. So I lied to you. There's a clone. Wait. There. Kill it that way. They still have some health left on their Senate building. Senator's office, rather, not Senate building. Okay, there's the first side. We can head up the river here. We'll meet up with our other forces now. You guys can go up there. Is this infantry only? I think it might be. Nope. We can go up through there. Alright. I think I got it. When's the new mod for Throne Intervention going on scene? So the next version of Imperial Civil War 2.3 is going to be out on Thursday, July 11th. So next week. Testing so far has gone pretty smoothly. Still a few issues, but nothing that... A lot of what's there is still just like minor text issues, minor map issues. We want to do a little bit more with era change cleanup, which still some bugs that were semi-left over from 2.2, where we're trying to figure out what makes certain era transitions crash. But on the whole, nothing we're that concerned about. So... Yeah, Eckhart thought I was doing a playthrough. He was using a version that's at this point 4 months old, and he was having some issues with a ground crash that used to happen and was happening in the early parts of this playthrough. There was one main cause for that, which was when we had the infantry hardpoints be targetable, so you could hover over them and see what kind of infantry they were, which was cool, but caused that problem, so no good. But the secondary problem that could sometimes cause it is if you were missing a projectile that was being fired. That could happen. So because there were the two different causes, it could be harder to track. We're sure the one caused by the infantry targeting is gone. We're unsure, like we're fairly sure the projectile ones are all gone. We haven't had one in a while, but you can never be sure if there's just a really obscure something or other. We're pretty confident we've tracked them all down, but so that's good. Alright, they have taken Contrum, so we need to take Contrum back. Alright, we have these forces at Alsacon. Let's get it. So they're building 2 of everything before they go higher, it seems like. Need to see if that's the case in ICW as well. Because it may be something that's already been fixed, because this is also like a 2-month-old build now. Alright, magnetize, head on over there. If you stand right here, or if you rest right there, you can hit that. Perfect. Alright, Persuaders, go forward. HMPs, turn around. I don't want you tanking. I want you raiding. You know what? Go through here. No, just, you can go through here. You can fly. Thank you, AW pathfinding logic. Always wants to go through a fully accessible area, even though it is fully accessible. Because you can fly. Alright, we're good. Making it through the meat grinder here. And let's go kill this. Need to just adjust the garrisons. Obviously, they are not correct for the era. You get back there. You guys need to go up here. Here. If you're gonna do that. Kill the infantry. You kill the vehicles. We got it. Cool. Landing zone's cleared. There's both light vehicle factories, then it's just the senator's office and the barracks. Alright, super battle droids. You're good, you're all good. Those are just civilians. You two can go for that barracks. Let's get all of our droidica in there. Grab droids. Magnet droids up there. Okay. Alright, you three are the main damage sources against the buildings, so go do that. And you guys with your wrist rockets. All the droidicas go after the ATPT. Atapata. It's too bad we didn't bring anything that could orbitally bombard them, but oh well. Get those clones. Gone inside the broken bunker. Probably reduce the health on that. They're supposed to be kind of tanky, but as it is, you're usually getting there and just taking forever to kill them. Them being any of the local government buildings. They probably only need to have half as much health as they do. Where do we have a... I guess these must be clones in here somewhere. Yeah, there's at least a squad of clones in there. There we go. Oh. Is there another one? There they are. Acting like civilians. Trying to start their new life on Alsaken. There we go. I guess that'll probably do it for the first episode that we're recording here today. We're going to keep going on the Twitch stream, but I'm going to end the recording there and save. Makes I think a reasonable place to take a break there. So thanks for watching, everyone on YouTube. On Twitch, we'll be back here in a minute or two. Just going to give it a chance to save. And we'll continue on with our conquest of probably the eastern part of the core. Oh, we'll be back in a second.